to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and thank you everyone for coming. First order of business is approval of the October 2nd business session minutes.
I did not motion to suspend the rules.
Okay.
I think it was Ben, is what I think it was. To suspend the rules.
It sounds right.
Okay. I made the motion to approve it, but I did not make a motion to suspend the rules.
Is there a motion to approve as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve as with that update.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next, approval of the bills list.
Move to pay the bills.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain. You know, I'm not going to blindly approve invoices that I don't have a ability to see. So I will abstain.
I didn't catch that. You didn't go to what?
To see them.
Oh, okay.
I kind of thought we had the right to see an invoice, but we do not, I guess.
And next up, public comments. Hearing none, we'll move on. Committee reports, Admin and Finance Committee.
Hi everyone, sorry for the printed copies, I'm not in your back this week. I was on vacation and I'm still catching up, so sorry about that, not making the packet time. From a financial perspective, what you're looking at through September is going to be your cash basis financials. Even though September was your fiscal year end, we haven't done any of the accrual entries and those types of things, so this will just be the cash basis, which are regularly what you see. So for the month of September, in the general fund, as we've been talking about all year long, revenues trailed the budget a bit. The budget estimates were a little higher than what the property tax and franchise receipts came in, as well as from a court perspective, the fines and fees that were estimated in the budget for court were a little ambitious compared to what actually came in. So the revenues for the year came in under budget because of those reasons. On the expenditure side, we talked about this in the prior month, it hasn't materially changed. Election expenses for the elected officials budget were a little higher in the fiscal year than were planned in the budget. And as well as combat fund salaries and personnel expenses were higher than what were anticipated in the budget. So when you combine the lesser revenues in the general fund with the increased expenses, you do see a deficit in the general fund for the fiscal year, where revenues that were received were less than the expenditures that occurred during the fiscal year. When we flip the page and move over to the tax fund, while that fund performed a little bit differently than budget, not material by any stretch of imagination, in actual, there were excess revenues over expenditures to the tune of about $28,000. So that fund is actually building reserves for this fiscal year. The streets fund performed, in comparison to budget, the revenues again were a little lower. The sales tax budget was a little higher than what actually occurred for the fiscal year. And then on the expenditure side, there was some equipment purchase from Casey Bobcat for a piece of tracked equipment that was not planned in the budget, and so that's why you see that deficit of $19,000 for the fiscal year in the streets fund. For fairs and festivals, the budget and what actually occurred, the activities were different that were planned in the budget than what actually resulted. So there, from a results perspective, there are a number of booth rentals for festivals that occurred that weren't planned in the budget. So that's why you see the revenues where they are. And then the expenditures associated with those festival activities, entertainment, fireworks, and those types of things. So overall, that fund operated at a deficit of about $1,000, but the budget and the actual activities that occurred are not really the same to do that comparison. From a parks perspective, wages, so the compensation for the personnel that supported park operations was higher, as well as supplies for that program were higher than what were anticipated in the budget. So you see a little bit of a deficit there, about $5,000 $100,000 of costs that were expended compared to revenues that came in for operations for the fiscal year. In the capital fund, pretty much the same theme. We have revenues that came in, those are your use tax revenues that are coming in. And then we have some projects, as well as equipment purchases for the capital program that were not planned in the budget. So you do see a deficit there as well. Largely that deficit is because of the equipment that was purchased that was not really planned in the budget. From a utility perspective, water performed, in excess of budget. We talked for several months before we made it to the summer months that they were really lagging in revenues, which was a seasonality impact. As the fiscal year concluded through the summer, that actually worked itself out and performed better than what we anticipated in the budget. And on the expenditure side, stayed in line with with the revenue and actually ended up with a surplus of revenues over expenditures for the fiscal year. On the sewer side, we did have some unanticipated maintenance expenses as well as cleaning of the lift station. Not uncommon for a sewer utility to have surprise expenses and sometimes very expensive surprise expenses because it is a sewer. So we do see a deficit there on the sewer portion of that utility of about $17,000 for the fiscal year, but all in, that Fund 50 operated at a surplus of $143,000. When we look at the ARPA, which is the final fund here, we do have expenditures that we anticipated for the wastewater treatment plant project. Those expenditures are recorded there about $407,000. And like all of the other funds, the one-time capital projects were not planned in the budget and haven't been planned going forward. So we'll just continue to talk about those, which is perfectly fine. Your final page is your cash reconciliation, so you can see what's really going on with cash. Same as last month, when you look at the bank balance in the general fund, it does have more money that's reported in the GL, and that difference is really your outstanding payments. We do need to continue to watch the general fund and our expenditures because it does run really tight, particularly at the end of the year, the further we get away from the property tax receipts that we get at the beginning of the year. So it's something that I know Joe watches very, very closely and emails me about when I fall behind on making sure we get our transfers in. So we watch that one pretty closely. The other funds are performing really as we expected. And anytime you see on this schedule where there's no really outstanding deposits and payments, there's not really a lot of activity in a lot of these funds on a regular monthly basis. Those that do have activity, you'll see where you have outstanding deposits and payments, and that's where your GL balance looks a little different than your bank balance. The ones that we need to pay attention to, again, water and sewer, because we did have that influx of funds. We need to make sure we're still very disciplined and we hold that money aside to make those debt service payments and those types of things, so that we don't spend through that cash and then find ourselves in an issue when we have to make those debt service payments. But all in all, the cash is performing really as we expected. Without much time to review, if you all have questions for me on the financials this month.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, public health and safety.
Things slowed down a little bit finally. Part of that was I was away at a conference for a week, and I think the cats quit playing while I was gone. That's just 1 week's work. And then she mentioned something about the combat. I don't know why we haven't received that fund yet, but I'll call and check on it again tomorrow because they've got everything that I'm supposed to send them. So that's $80,000 whenever they finally decide to write a check. I know they're a little behind because of the Jackson County didn't approve their budget until further in the year, but I would have thought they could have caught up by October. So I will check on it again tomorrow. That's all I have.
Our $1.93 still in that account. Still.
Yeah, no.
I had $2, so yeah.
All right, next up, park board. Planning and zoning. Public works.
I'd like to introduce, I don't know, a lot of people know him. This is Bob Summer, he's our interim public works director for right now, until we get somebody hired in, or get somebody trained in that position.
And, just start out here with the water meters. To give you a second here, number estimated water bills is 26.
we've been having some issues getting the guys that went out there to fix them and put new equipment that there's something else going on with it. And we're trying to Joe and Dylan Center, trying to get them in here to see what's going on with the remainder. And I think there's, how many?
51.
51 that we're not able to read right now. And I just know that they're having some issues with that company, and we don't know what's going on yet. And then equipment maintenance, dump truck service, 2 of the 3. What's that one there?
2, okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
And right now we're having the issues with one of the trucks' transmission, which we gotta get looked at. It's not one shipped out of third gear.
Is that one of the Rams or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to the transmission shop tomorrow. The other one broke down today through a brake line.
Oh, boy.
Andrew's fixing it tonight.
Just, like I said, equipment just, it goes when it wants to go. We got the same issue at the plant. They've got a lot of old stuff there that we're getting repaired. It's just, you don't know when it's gonna go out. And with the age, we're looking at doing replacement of a lot of stuff. And like I said, our last rotor we had, the gearbox bearing went out, and we maintained the fluid and greasing and everything of the pillow block bearings, but the main bearing to the motor shelled out on us, and it's just from use. It's just age, 30 years, 40 years old, and so we had the spare from the other one that got, I don't know, somebody ruined it, but anyway, we kept it and put it back into place. It was working, but the motor wasn't checking out right. I had a company there, FTC, and it lasted 2 days, and then the motor, we had a power surge at the plant, and I got to call the electric company on that because it just happened too much, and it shelled that electric motor out. And so we've got another one coming Monday to replace it, and then that should be up and running, and really good. The main lift station going to the plant, we've got the pump working great there now, and FTC still working on trying to get, we're gonna make a deal because they working on the pumps for us in that dry pit, and when the check valve, I don't think they had it shut right, but they know they're at fault. It just popped up and filled that whole wet well close to it. So it's inoperable. It's gonna take a lot of work to get it fixed up. And so right now we have a submersible pump. And I've done this at other plants that you get a submersible pump down in there, and then they hard pipe it all the way down to the other way, and it's working real good. So with the motor going out, the plant process, everything gets the main tank there has to have air for the microorganisms to survive. And when it went down for a week, and I was surprised getting it up after a couple days, we still had bugs in there doing their work. But it lasted 3 days, and the water's going from black, it's turning back to brown where it should be at, and the motor went out. So we'll have that up and going Monday. And like I said, the cooler weather takes longer because these bugs don't work as fast in the cool weather, and that's why in the summer or winter time you have to have a higher population of them, and that's for not wasting your sludge out of your plant. You build it up, and once we get that going, we're gonna be working pretty good to get it. All the numbers, like I said, the numbers have always been down low. I had a 99.6% removal of the suspended solids for the month. My BOD won't come off till Monday, and I had a ammonia check, and I told Joe that as long as you don't take it from your designated area spot, you don't have to report it. And I don't have a meter there to check it myself, and it was a little high from all the stuff going on because it was the plant's short circuiting and it's not doing its regular processing deal. But with having the motor coming in Monday, by the end of the month, we should be getting the ammonia back down where I had it at, little or none. And then go through the daily operations. The guys had put out about 4.5 tons of pothole repair, and it took them quite a while because the previous employees really had that machine messed up bad. And it took them, I think, 2 weeks to get it all straightened up, all the excess stuff that was left in there, and they got it up so it's going now, and they can continue when we get ready to, start doing some more potholing. The water turnoffs, they had approximately 20 last month, and dig right locate for about 23, and let's see, that's water main break. We had one water main break and 2 sewer stop ups, and
What were the violations? You said there was 3 of them.
I did the one on the corner of Oak Circle and,
the water.
no, code violation, no. Oak Circle and Lake City Road. I did one at, what was it? I contacted the car wash, but I didn't give him a violation. I just let him know, hey, can you get this cleaned up before we get that far. I did one on North Central, on 308 North Central.
Yeah.
And I forget what his total was at.
What was just general violations?
Trash, weeds.
I got you.
But the main one, they got the one cleaned up on Old Circle, and that was really bad.
Who gives them out now?
I got him up, and Dalton passes them out, because I got the template on my computer, so I just type it in and Dalton passes them out.
Right.
So those ones that you're getting online, that you're being told about it,
Yeah.
good, that works. The number of meters that you are reading, I know you said last meter meeting before that there were numbers that weren't matching up. Is that?
That's part of the
part of that?
51.
Okay.
And, well, that's actually part of the 61, you see up above, says 61, I think.
65.
Yeah, it's part of that. But we have problems, like he said, equipment wise, is I've been trying for 2 weeks now to get those in. We got some little gel packs, small ones and 3 ones that we hook up the batteries to, and push it down and it seals them up because it's watertight. But out of those, so can't get any more meters to get those in. And I got those on order, but I haven't got any response back yet. And then we missing some few boxes of batteries that we need.
So it's
So the guys are going out there,
Yeah,
I know-
supplies.
Supply,
Yeah.
okay. So the equipment works okay, we're just out of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
good.
trying to get those present, the company to finish them to
Well,
us.
the estimates are lower than I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And thanks for the potholes that I've noticed that they've been.
Yeah. And then,
And was there probably some during the festival or something, there was something said about the dump trucks or the dump beds being rusted out or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really bad.
shape, yeah.
Bad shape. In fact, we're looking at, I'm putting away just a couple of flatbeds, just get the flatbed, shave a little bit, get one flatbed. That is okay. It's a little rusty, but, the one that sets drives, you can see to the sides of the bed, it's totally rusted out. That's one we're going to exchange, put a flatbed on it. Still would be dumb, but still would have flatbed. I saw one put away for $500, $600 locally. So we pay for it.
I was gonna say, if you could get some pricing, just so that we know.
Yeah. And also looking at maybe getting some prices for a pickup truck for the street department, so we can put that, salt line on it. Because right now we got that, I've been looking at put away, I saw some used trucks for around 15, 14, 15. They got, one had 8,000 miles, but it was an older one. So that'd be, it's on the auction.
If we have time, can we put that, those grindings behind that, behind those businesses back there in that alley?
Behind him, yeah.
Like you did over here?
Yeah.
Is there a way you can do that?
Yep.
Right now, we can't see the trucks back.
I understand, yeah.
And I think I saw the spreaders are ready. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope we don't worry about snow for another couple of
Yeah,
months.
no, the guys, they're on top of it. They're supposed to get one truck next week down to Andrew, but Andrew's gonna be contacted, they got a schedule going on where they're gonna put the plow on, sweat on, and Andrew's gonna go through, make sure everything's working on it, and then they take the next one down.
Yeah, I saw MoDOT was doing their test
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, the guys are on top of it.
Yeah, do you have, because I mentioned this quite a few months ago, but as far as a maintenance schedule, as far as what a year, what you do yearly, what you do monthly, what you do weekly,
Yeah, so the guys know, they have check-offs that they gotta get
Oh,
done.
yeah, we're getting that in going, we just gotta get things fixed first, because of the previous employees.
Understand, yeah.
So,
Yeah, 'cause I thought we agreed on a PO list.
Yeah, well, we talked about it, but,
I think the person who was.
He's not-
Yeah,
doing it here.
yeah, right.
two of them aren't here.
Anything else from Mr. Sonic? All right, fairs and festivals, old business, do we have none? New business, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding Cogent's proposal, seen in the packet, the micro strainer. You wanna maybe give us the?
yeah,
layman's version?
because of the age of it, it's over 20 years old, the PLC has a malfunction to it, and I can't fix it, I can't work around it. We brought the guy in, he could hook up to it and operate it that way. And so, it just needs to be repaired with a new PLC. And, I had him put a new float on, I tested the float that was on there, it's a safety deal. But I wanted to get a new one because it was old and it was already bent. When they get they're gonna go out soon. But the PLC on that, I had him set it for every 30 minutes so that we wouldn't have an issue. Because most of the time when the rain events, that's when you had more stuff come in on the screening. And it's got to move more so it don't overflow inside the pit there. And this is what and then they do have a one-day training, which their book is really easy. I think they have a step-by-step operation, how to go through the PLC once it's there.
And what is PLC?
The programming logic. So in other words, I can go in there and set the thing to run every hour.
It's a series of circuits and computer that tells it how to run and run.
It operates a
The
screen.
reason I ask is because I thought, this looks familiar, like we had discussed.
Well, we got a PLC that's down there at the, can't think how we want it, the lights. UV system, that's got a PLC, that's got its own
Okay,
separate
yeah,
PLC,
we
that's what we do a lot of
discussed
issues with that.
But that's not
Now,
what
this is at the headworks, but this is basically what it is a big old auger with a screen on it, and as the sewer water comes through, it augers, it gets all the big stuff out of it and puts it into a trash can. And so that needs to be programmed in. And so that's the first time that $1,700, that's what it cost that we made it cook, that's when it was first broke down, he called him out to come out and have a look at it and see what was going on, and like I said, he had added floats. To go back and fix the PLC, it'll be another $3,254.76, so the total bill is gonna be $5,013.
So the
Now,
1,700 is already spent. I mean,
Yeah, we owe it, it's already spent. Cogent is the only one authorized to work on this micro machinery, this new, doing stuff, yeah.
Right now,
That's why I could get other bids on it.
right now it's set by them when they came out.
Yeah, I had them set it every 30
You just can't
minutes.
change the
Yeah, no,
times
I
until
can't,
they
yeah.
change it.
Because the way it happens, if it detects the flow and it shows it up by the flow detection, but since it can't detect the flow, we gotta go on,
That's
it's
not what-
automatically, every 10 minutes, it automatically augers.
Motion to approve?
Okay.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Like, elected officials comments. One of the things I'd like y'all to think about is, Fund 20, right now, we got a little over $100,000 in there. Our building payment is coming up in December, it's 44. Last year, we paid a little extra. Joe's gonna get us the exact number, just off the amortization schedule. We ought to be right around 500, if we paid an extra 40,000 on this, that should get us down to right at 500,000, so we'd have the building 2/3 of the way paid off. If we didn't want to do that, the other, I think that we might want to entertain was, we talked about doing some street work and taking that 40,000 and putting it with the street fund, we'd have about 130, and I was thinking we needed 100, was it 116, Joe? You
Something like that, yeah.
So it would allow us to do those streets back there. I mean, it's a capital improvement fund, so used it for this or for the sewer plant or something, but it could be used for the streets to get that done. If we still have a little bit of mild weather, but we can maybe get that in. But, don't have to decide tonight, but those are just things that I'd like to have on the agenda for the next go-round.
I think it's a good idea to paint the building down, but we gotta take advantage of the street because we gotta keep those maintained or we'll be in the big.
It'll be even more. And we do have a fairly modest interest rate yet. I know that it does step up in another couple of years, but right now, so that's why I'm trying to get it as low as we do before it kicks up, but even at that, I think it only goes up to like 6, so it's, I mean, by contemporary standards, that's high, but I remember them being much higher in the past.
Another question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Missed the bus cleanup for the first time in years and years. I just learned how many dumpsters and how that all went. If we had anybody that went.
It wasn't as busy as normal.
It wasn't.
No.
I wonder if we hadn't advertised much because I
Yeah,
know.
they were surprised. I know they were surprised. I would assume we used maybe 6 dumpsters. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and I didn't see the.
But-
I know we put it down on the street down there, do we not, on the display?
Yeah, it was on the sign, it was on
And
Facebook.
I know it's on the city website,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But do we normally have 2?
Yeah.
Okay, we've always had 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've had the last couple of years. So first started.
Yeah, we haven't been doing it very long. And since we don't have the burn, I'm sure there was a lot of things that could have been thrown away, but we can't take yard waste, so.
We
had one special. Yeah,
We could take leaves. We filled up one dumpster with
Yeah.
yard waste.
With yard waste?
Yeah.
What do we do with that?
They haul it off.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit of a haul off, they give it.
Okay. Well, that's a new one, we gotta figure out some way to.
Yeah.
Well, I had a neighbor call me about that, and I told him, I said, no, we still don't have that, but I said, and I gave him the option, AAA gives, you can buy 20 bags, and whatever you put in there, they'll take. Okay, so you have that. When they also have we also have the burn ordinance where they can burn in a approved pit.
Yeah.
And then they have the county, which they can take down, and they can take, if they have a large amount, they can take it down on Pink Hill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have options if they want to do it, they're just not gonna be as simple as what we had.
And one more, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
How the Christmas tree dinner go? I missed that, of course, I just keep.
I too was out of town, so I don't.
What?
Well, Ben and I took care of you guys.
We held it up.
You had tea in each hand, huh?
But we, literally, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed, financially, I don't know what the final number was, but it seemed like money was flowing.
It was. Kept Ben and I hopping.
Yeah.
We were busy, yeah, kept Ben and I
Well,
hopping.
you guys would be busy, whether
Yeah.
everybody else was or
Yeah.
not. But I just wondered how the turnout went.
It seemed pretty good.
And the auction.
Everybody stayed the whole time, they didn't get up and leave this time,
A
you
lot of
know?
times they will.
Yeah,
Yeah, the day's over.
yeah.
That's good. I just, Mayor's got a little money to spend on gifts